the latest I'm Third Movement, the first installment of the first video of the man I want to be. And these are conversations. This is me talking to men and women who are raising young men. When you first get onto the walk as a man, the first thing you should, the thing that you should exude is leadership. Leadership is probably the most important aspect of manhood, right? Who's gonna lead me, and then who am I gonna lead? This is the most important question you should ask. Leadership is the barometer of manhood for me. How do I lead? How do I lead my family? It's going to be shown by how do I lead myself in singleness, and then how did I submit myself under a leadership in that season of me being submitted to a leader. Like how does that work? And in this video, we want to have a conversation about leadership and what leadership is. And now, I already gave you in the last video my background of manhood, of why I can say anything about manhood, and that's because I've been a man for about 12 years, somewhere in there. So I've been a man for a while, and I've slipped, I failed as a man a few times, and I got back up and I've gotten it right, and I've gotten it wrong. Whether you make right or wrong decisions is not the issue. We're living in a day where people can't even decide on decisions, and being a leader, you really have to have that ability to make decisions. You have to have that ability to say, okay, I'm going to decide to do this. I'm going to decide not to do this. That's what leadership is about. And understand, ladies, you may be raising a man. Teach your young child what leadership is, and teach him decision making. Right? That's what we judge. Understand this. As a young man growing up, I had no idea the importance of decision, because I didn't have no one to speak into my life and tell me the importance of decision making. So I made a lot of decisions, and then the first thing I did when I made those decisions, because I didn't have nobody to tell me that you're gonna fail or you're gonna make some bad decisions, is I caved. And then next thing you know, my next decision, I didn't want to make it. I went to look to people making those decisions for me. And I think in manhood and leadership, we have a lot of people that are struggling with leadership, with decisions. So, man, understand this. As you get older, especially when you get into your 20s, it becomes about your ability to make decisions. Not the decision that you made, but your ability to make decisions. Now, you may say, well, that don't sound too wise. It does. I just want to use a simple example. When you get 18, you're going to have a decision to make whether you're going to go to college, what college you're going to go to if you go to college, or what you're going to do if you don't go to college, right? That's probably your first key decision. What are you going to do with your life after high school? A lot of people does not make that decision. A lot of people say, well, I'm just going to go to college and let it roll out. Take one decision, and they're going to fail in college, so they come back, and guess what they do? They give up on life and just try to find whatever they can find, instead of making a decision, say, okay, I'm going to make this decision of going to college, and I'm going to stick with this decision. When I make a decision, I have to stick with that decision. There's no other option after I make a decision but to stick with it. But we're raising men that are making decisions, and they're not sticking with them because they don't understand how to make decisions, or they don't understand the importance of decision making. So this would be the biggest lesson you're gonna learn in leadership, is decision making. That's gonna be the biggest lesson. And if you've submitted yourself under a leader, a person to be led, and you're gonna learn how to make a decision. You're gonna learn how to make sure that decision. Jesus said, "Make sure yays be yays and your no's be no's," but you got to make a choice. I know I may be misquoting that, but I'm trying to show you that you got to stick with your decision. You got to make a decision and stick with it. As a man, that's whether you feel or not. Whether you feel or not, you got to stick with that decision. Now, secondly, is you got to understand that when you make a decision, there's going to be things you got to weigh all aspects of your decision as a man. When I make a decision to buy a car, it's not that I want a red car, ooh, that's shiny, and buy the car. No, I got to think about, the ramifications of that decision. Am I going to be driving a lot? Do I need a car that's going to have a lot of mileage? This is just an example. I mean, not a lot of mileage. Gas price. Gas. Does it have good gas mileage? Does it have a lot of miles? Have anybody went under the hood? That's why they make a Carfax, so you can better your decision making, and that's what we do in life, even unto the point of a wife. We take that decision very, very serious. You know what? Is she going to be a good mother? Vice versa, women. Is he going to be a good father? Is she going to be a baby mama? I got to pay child support. Or is he going to be a baby daddy that I'm going to get child support for him? See, our decision making is what makes us. It's the starting point of making us good leaders. Our decision making is very important. I want to go back to when I said Jesus said let your yays be, but it's a picture of when I say let your yays be yays and your nays be nays. It's a picture of make the decision and stick with it. That's what I was referring to in that situation. But decision making is huge in manhood and under the guise of leadership, and that's what you should learn. That's what you should be teaching your son. Women, you should be teaching your sons how to make decisions and not making decisions for them. This is part one of leadership. Part two, we'll be talking about other stuff in leadership. The Lace Hour, third movement.